There you can see my sketch of my two old boats, just moored or beached, I should say, on the shoreline there on the River Orwell. And look at this fantastic picture. Isn't that lovely? So I've got a few nice features, and that's what I like to look at in the painting. What attracted me to it, and I think it's obviously the shape, the boats, but we've got it nicely framed with this. But look at the lovely purpley sky, and as it comes down to a sort of goldeny yellow here. I've probably this taken, I would suspect, late afternoon. I'm not sure really. But look at the battered old boats here. They're obviously past their best. Lots of wreckage here and old rotting boats. But I've got a nice green along here. And this different colours and all the beach grasses and weeds and old junk here. But I've got to get that nice golden piece of land on the far shore there, and a few yachts there. So we've got to get that right, and a nice dark colour here in these trees and how it's shaped. I must try and see if I can get some of those leaves and the shape. So let's get on with that anyway. So as you see, I've sketched it out already. So we've got a little bit of a start on this. So I want to be fairly quick with this. So I think I'm going to go straight for a wash, a nice wash down there. So we'll do pretty much a wet on wet technique. I think will lend itself to this. So let's get a nice big flat brush and get some colour in there and a nice little purpley bluey colour going. So let's just wet it up for a start. Right. Going to bring it right down here over the boats. The boats are going to be obviously a lot darker, so that's not an issue really. With watercolour, of course, you've got to try and keep those light areas preserved, because it's difficult to bring them back. So let's do that. This is rather downy smooth textured paper. Very little texture on it, so any texture I put in here will have to be by my brush strokes. So let's get a nice little purpley bluey colour. So I'm going to use a little bit of cerulean and a little bit of crimson alizarin, I think, for this. So let's just, yes, I think I need it a lot darker than that. So let's see what we can do. Yes, that's a bit better. Sort of purpley colour, or purple tinge to it. Way down like that. Actually, I've made that with blue and some crimson alizarin, but I think I'm going to actually put a bit of purple in it, just to beef it up a little bit. That's going to dry a lot lighter, of course. That's and also I think I've got this shoreline along there. Going to wipe that out a little bit. See if we can dry that with a dryish brush. And I think I'm going to I think I'm going to drop a little bit of ochre into that part of the sky, lower part of the sky there, because I want it quite warm. I have to be careful how I do that, although it will turn it to green. So let's just leave that for the moment. And I think I need to put in something along here on this shoreline. We'll put a little bit of raw sienna in, I think, is what we need there. Let's make a little bit up here. I'm going to use a Chinese brush for most of this painting, or parts of it, I think, because I get the nice sort of point on it, which I can use. I think we need a little bit darker than that, so I think we've got to put a bit of umber, because it's got to stand out against that sky as well. So we need, that's it, I think. And because it's wet, this is wet on wet, I'll get a sort of soft edge to it as well. I don't want a sharp edge because it's in the distance. It's a little fuzzy in a sense. Right, let's leave that, and I can darken up on that a little bit in places, I think. It's not uniform. Sort of shoreline there. Can raise it up a little bit so we can have some shape, I think. I think we could put a little bit of green to tone down with a bit of red. Yes, I think I need to do that. I went for a walk all along this shore. It's really interesting. Great place for sailors. Lovely estuary there. Right, now I've got to get something in this foreground, so I'm going to put in a wash right across here. Grass, greens here. and slightly browner. A little bit of red in it. Yes, that will give us some first wash anyway, to kill off all those bright whites. We don't want that at this point. Now I need to get in our boats, of course. I've got to let's get a smaller brush where we've got a bit more control. I'm going to use a number 6 round here. Get some of those boats in. Get some of the shape of it. They've been beached here. This is the end of their lives as working boats, I'm sure. They've seen better days, that's for sure. Right, we can do that, and there will be a nice dark shadowed area under here, but I think I'll let that get dry a little bit. And this one as well. As I say, this is going to be much darker under here, but I need to let that dry a little bit. Yes, this boat is an old fishing boat. I wonder how old it is. And when was it beached here? Here we've got all the wreckage of old abandoned boats. And we'll get dark elements in. So I'm using a bit of Payne's grey now, mixing that with let's get that when it's wet. It's all under there, all under shadow, and of course this one as well. I want to try and put some detail in the boat, but I need to let it dry off a little bit. It's bleeding a little bit too much there, and I've got the remains of an old boat here as well. The old hull just totally breaking down here. go. Trying to suggest a few of those ribs now. The shape of that. What remains of this boat? Not a lot. And also this one as well. We've got, let's get some of the darker tones in there. Whole bits of ribs. Right. Now let's beef up on this dark whole boat here. Right. And this, yes, there was, you can't exactly see what it is, so just see it as a shape. You can't determine what it actually was, but that's not a problem really, because it's just wreckage. I think I can bring that up there a bit more. Right. Right, let's do that. Now we need to put in some darker tones along here. Certainly along here, this bit. Let's put some bits of green in it as well. And it was some nice lighter green along there. That's right. So again, always try to vary it as I go. So I need to bring this out a little bit, improve the shape there. That whole cave here. And then some darks as well, dark greys. Dark under there, shadowy area. So let's so we've got that, and then here bits of green as well. The seashore on the always get lots of debris and driftwood and sea life, creatures, seaweed. You'll see it all there. We can wait till it's a bit drier and put in some more texture. But I think when it's wet on wet, you get a more diffused colours really. A little bit, I'm just looking at my reference photograph here. Just for guidance, you don't have to follow it, of course. Not absolutely imperative. Got a bit of different green there. Right. Put some weeds in here. A little bit later, I think. Right, now let me think, is this dry enough? I need to get some watercolour in there. So let's get on to that with a bit of cerulean and a little bit of red as well. Let's see. It wasn't a very bright blue, I must say, in my reference, but remembering that this is going to dry a lot, lighter, got to bear that in mind. Because I've got to put all the mast in of this ship here, but we've got to wait until that's a bit drier before we can do that. All right, okay, we'll leave that for a moment. How's that looking? Yes, I still got to delineate that darks under there. I really haven't. I think I'm going to perhaps let's get a little bit of yellow, bit of. I need to warm this up here. A little bit more golden as well. I think I better go for a bit of light red. Alright, let's leave that. Now let me get my hair dryer. I think I need to dry this off a little bit. It's a little bit too wet for me to do any real detail. So if I can get my hair dryer here, plug it in. Yes, that will do it. I've got this dryer now, So I'm just going to put in some of these overhanging trees. So let's get some nice greens going. I've got sap and viridian, hooker's green. So it's quite a bluey green actually. So I think I'm going to just put in some broad colour. And then I'll try to leave some areas where the sky will show through. But let's get a thick mixture of some hookers going here. It comes through the whole picture actually. Quite a big slab of it here. But I want to leave a few shapes of leaves as well, if I can, with this Chinese brush. It's got a little tip on there, so that will help me. But I think we need to get some real darks in here because it's set against the sky there, so you get a sort of almost silhouetting effect parts of it. So get some ultramarine in my mixture here, and we need to bring this down quite a bit. Like this. Let's darken up again. Bit of Payne's grey in my mixture there because I want it really dark in here. Let's get some browns, darken it, dark green. But I want some shape here as well. I'm trying to suggest the shape of some of these leaves. There's very little sky showing up at the top part, so I've got to make sure I've blocked that out. It's yes, I can see them. I've got to connect these shapes to each other as well. I need to do that. It's again a nice stiff mixture now of some of these areas. Right, I think could leave that for the moment anyway. Have I got a nice shape to that? Right, now I think we can put, now I've got this stiff mixture and it's dried a little bit. Put some more areas of this green. Right. Okay, let's some of these. A bit darker, I think. A little bit of red in that as well. Let's clean my brush a little bit. That's better. Right. Now I'm squinting my eyes and I can see that this outline of all this broken up boat is not dark enough by any means, and nor is my little bit under the hull here. That's all dark as well. We got to put in some marks now to show us the ribs, if we can. It's just all broken up. I've got to get in the mast and the rigging on this one in a minute. But while I'm here, I can use the same mixture. Try and show something there. And this, as I said, is an old wrecked boat as well. Right, let's leave it like that for the moment. Could suggest it's some of the branches perhaps there, maybe with a thinner brush later. But I need to do something about this boat. I've got to put a lot more detail in it. Yes, I think we should get straight on with that, really. So I'm going to have to get a fine brush and see if I can get that mast in right. So we need a colour which is going to stand out somewhat, and you just have to bite the bullet here, I think. Try and do it with one stroke. Got some of the cross trees, I think they're called. Yeah. And these stays going here. Lots of paraphernalia there. Right. I think so, we can do that. Right, let's come back a bit there. Yes, there was cross tree here, and aerials and various paraphernalia. Right, now let me think. Let's let's put some different colours in as well. We need to have, got to keep every bit of the boat interesting, every bit of your painting. I think we're going to put a little bit of red in as well. Why not? In this section here, to make it a little bit more interesting. A little bit there, under here. Yes, I need a sharp edge along there. So I'm going to get a darker colour now. A little bit of my black. There's a rail there. I notice all this. Yes, you can add lots of detail and it will start to bring it alive. But, of course, do too much and your picture is suddenly considered overworked. Just looks a bit too detailed for the state, really. Now, I think we need to put in some boats as well out here. That little bit of white we by chance have there, I can leave. That can suggest a yacht, and we can do another here. All boats. To define that shoreline a little bit, I think. A bit better. Now I want to see, let me think. I think I could change this, have a nice yellow, nice bright green there. A bit of lemon yellow. And get this sort of green that you get. That's better. And we'll get some different browns, I think. There. Actually, what we could do is let's get a nice juicy mixture on the brush and use a bit of splatter, just tapping the brush. Give me a few different marks. That's it, I think that'll do it. And I can see here much darker needed. Yes, I think that's dark in that hole. You have to look carefully sometimes to see you've got the right shapes. Now what we could do, let's see if we can add a little bit more texture and colour. Move that water up a little bit there. That's better. Right. Some of those splatters are a little bit too prominent, so use your finger there. It will work perfectly well. And we could put some more grass, I think. Let's get a stiff mixture now. Something. See if we can. Ah, that's better. A little bit of different greens. Let's use the side of your brush like this. Can flick up some something to suggest some weeds, some seaweed. Right, now I need could put a bit of gouache in some of these places. I think I wanted to get the light in there a little bit more. Is it worth it though? I don't know. That's better. A big dark rib there. And I think we need more shadow here. That's it. And we can try and improve a little bit on our leaves as well. Some sort of use the point of the brush here to give you some leaf shapes. A little bit darker there, so take a bit of my ultramarine. Oh, that's a bit better, I can see that. So I've got various tones of green. Don't know if the camera's picking it up. Darker here, some mid-tones as well, sort of intermediate tonal values. Got some sap there, thick, quite thick paint now. Just dab it in using the shape of the brush, try and help me with a little leaf shape. Right, now let's get a little bit of gouache in. I think, and then also suggest some of the little buildings in the background perhaps. Let's do that, see if I can, not that there are many, just the odd one, but and masts, a moored craft there. I think so. Yes. Oh, I know what we could do. Let's put a nice thick red of a sailboat, which there actually is in my picture, so I'm going to do that. We can put different colours here, and some oranges. Now let's get should we get a nice dark thick blue on my boat there, because it's not really showing up well. We can do that, and then we could put a little detail on here, and then put some, well, here, just a hint of it, and then we put some gouache. Let's put a bit of blue in here then. See, all sorts of colours in this old boat. I think so. That might do it. A little bit of paraphernalia hanging off there, and also a big streak of something there. Right, let's put a bit of orange. I can see a nice little bit there. Right, let's get straight onto that gouache then. If I can find it. Oh, here it is, gone on the floor. Yes, I've just noticed on the reference that I could put some little bits of white on that boat to suggest where there are little holes. And you can see the water the other side. So I'll get a nice bit of gouache out of the straight out of the tube. Yes, they were. And then also a hole there on this fella. Let's catch a bit of light on here. A little highlight there. And right, it come alive with a little bit of light. We could put we need to put another yacht out there. A little bit of white. Let's put a bit of a white sail on this fella. A little bit of white on him. Right. And say this is this old wreck here. And then we have a little bit of white here, catching a little bit of sunshine there, and also under there as well, catching in there. Let's put something, emphasize something there where we can see it. Help our, let's put a bit of sparkle in the water as well. Yes, I can see yachts out here. That's a little bit too generous. There we are. I think I should probably leave this now. A little bit of light on the shoreline over there. That will help, I think. See, a bit brighter over there, wasn't it? A little bit of water there. Well, there we have my quick sketch, really, of the couple of old boats on the River Orwell out here in Suffolk in the UK. But let me just take off the tapes, and that will give us a bit of a frame or a clean edge, which is, I don't always do this, but I think it helps. Like that. And then just the last one here. There we are. So there we have it. An old wreck of a couple of boats on the River Orwell in Suffolk in the UK. Anyway, if you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. That always helps me encouragement when I see that people are enjoying it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Well, there you have the finished article. I'm fairly pleased with it. It's just a quick interpretation, a quick sketch. I could do it in oil, actually. That might be worth another attempt, just to experiment.